Just in, Secretary Duffy announces enforcement actions against California, New Mexico, and Washington for failing to comply with the Trump administration's English language proficiency standards for commercial truck drivers.
We are not going to tolerate states that don't comply with the rules that come from this department. And so we are going to, first of all, we've identified several states that have not been in compliance. That would be Washington, California, and New Mexico. Those are the three states that have not complied with this rule, which, by the way, this driver in Florida had received a CDL
from two
in Washington
and California,
and was pulled over in July for speeding, and no doubt couldn't speak English language. Law enforcement in New Mexico did not take his rig out of service.
What?
So this one driver touched all three states. Based on our review, they are not complying with.
So in other words, he was all over the country. He was crisscrossing the country constantly, probably. I mean, he was way over here in Florida. Florida's not exactly bordering those three states.
Our rule. And so phase one for us, which I'm announcing today, is we are going to give these states 30 days to come into compliance with truck drivers speaking proficiently the English language, or we're going to look at federal funding that they receive under the Motor Carrier Safety Assistance Program.
Yeah, they don't want to mess with that.
California is
that's a big one.
20 million or 30 million? 30 million. Washington is 10 million, and New Mexico is 7 million. Jesse will confirm that in a second. But these are millions of dollars. By the way, this is phase one. There are other actions that we can take to make sure states comply. And hopefully in the next 30 days, we won't have to withhold any money from them. But if they don't come into compliance, we will start with withholding this money, and then we will take additional steps to guarantee compliance.
Good grief, man. Talk about the most common sense thing ever, the most basic ass common sense thing ever. If you want to drive a vehicle, you should be proficient in English, because we got to know that you can read fucking road signs. And it's not just the stop signs and the yield signs. You also have to read those overhead messages with regard to fog is ahead, or, I mean, not just that, but of course they display those silver alerts and the amber alerts and stuff, but they display important information on those things all the time, those overhead screens when you're on a highway. You got to be able to read some of that shit just to know that there might be danger ahead or stop traffic ahead, especially if you drive a fucking semi, a rolling missile, basically. And yeah, that's just appalling that they're not complying with it, but he is giving them 30 days. Maybe they're getting to it, but it sounds to me like they're gonna have to pull in an awful lot of truck drivers. I don't know if they're gonna pull in all of them. I wonder how they're gonna go through with implementing that to make sure that they're up to the standards that they need to be. But it sounds like they're about to get a lot of CDLs yanked. And if that's the case, that opens up the door to anybody out there. If you're looking to be a truck driver, there's going to be a lot of people hiring truck drivers, especially in those three states. Either that, or they're just going to have to eat that funding, which he said that's only stage one or phase one. So there might be more heavy penalties, sanctions, what have you, down the road. So I guess we'll have to keep track of that. And from Christopher Landau, since, let me see, he's the Deputy Secretary, let's see, proud son of a diplomat and former U.S. ambassador to Mexico, honored to serve my country's 23rd Deputy Secretary at the State Department. Okay.